Listen, guys, this is a real sensitive topic here, sensitive material. A lot of people, for some reason, are touch and go with this topic, but it is critical with today's society. So if you want to know what's really going on and you want to see something really, really profound, stay tuned. Book review channel here on YouTube. We're really working through some progressive books here. All right, here we go. So clearly with today's atmosphere, with everything going on, the pandemic, we got political debates, going on, and we have economic crisis globally, we have health crisis globally, we have all kinds of things monetarily happening worldwide with the economy that has really, highlighted the weaknesses across the world in every country. And one that I want to focus on right now is the racism issue that we have here in the U.S. We have different things that are going on. We have different groups that are together, getting together and fighting for what they think is right. And, there's a hero on both sides of the battlefield, and I get it. Some people have more of what they believe is their cause than others. But at the end of the day, there's going to be clear communication issues and things that aren't addressed that should be highlighted and addressed on both sides of the battlefield. And that communication and that education is what sheds light on the subject and helps create a more united front. And that's what I wanted to touch on today. The racism here in the United States. It's no secret what's going on right now. I mean, it's affecting people that are in situations where they're either a politician or they are, an entertainer, or they are some sort of athlete or what have you, all the way down to your everyday person who's not highlighted by the media somehow. We even have the media creating frenzies and highlighting negative events that are happening globally and making it completely misunderstood just for the sole purpose of getting out their own agenda, which is more ratings. It's sad, and they're focusing on that because it's clearly a problem. What I want to focus on is the problem at hand when it comes down to labels. We all have a label or a title, and those titles, whether we believe it or not, we live up to. Right? And in this case, what I wanted to touch on was the label black. Okay. Now, both black and white are not skin colors, right? And this is what we're going to touch into, is the association of the word black or white with a race. And I get it how definitions are manipulated by the person writing the dictionary, obviously. And with the definition that's placed under those words, we associate with those words in that manner. I'll give you an example. If I call you stupid every day, you'll hate me. And you won't feel very good about yourself. If I call you beautiful, amazing, every single day, you're going to feel uplifted. You're going to love me because this guy keeps telling me, wow, I am just beautiful. I'm amazing. And it makes my day feel amazing. He tells me I'm amazing, so my day feels amazing, right? So it uplifts you. And the reason why that happens is because words have energy. Our bodies don't understand the definition of the word. Our mind does. But our bodies, because of what's translated in our minds subconsciously, because every time you hear a word, you don't have to stop and figure out what the definition is. You already know what it is the first time you learn the word. So that definition has an effect on you. And that effect is energy, whether it's negative or positive, right? So I just transferred that energy over to you, and your body, as a result, knows what that energy is, right? So it's going to reflect in your attitude, in your character, in your emotions. So where am I going with that? Well, think about it for a second. If I called you stupid every single day, your day is just going to be, extremely like just not motivated. You're not going to feel proud. You're not going to feel like you can go and conquer the world. You're not going to feel just amazing, like I explained on the other example, right? So where I'm going with this is that travels through your body. You become depressed. If you fight it long enough, then it's in your head still, right? But the difference is you learn to deal with it, okay? So imagine learning to deal with this word, this title, for hundreds of years, okay? So that's something that what is titled as the Black culture has carried on our backs. Now, I'm going to use the words black and white, and we're going to mold from that, and I'm going to explain to you where I'm going with this. Okay, now white, the word, is defined as a more positive, pure type of thing. Okay, the definition is not of void or of negativity, like black is used as defined as deliberately harmful, or just all the negative meanings that are associated with the word black. Okay, now where am I going? Once again, I see where you're going, Justin, but so we all know this. Yes, you do, but have you put it all together? And here's what I mean. So when you go all the way back to the beginning. Now, there's been slavery, in the Roman periods, before, we started discovering Americas, and before all these different countries. Slavery has existed since day one. Okay, there's no secret there. There's nothing right about it, but there's no secret there. The definitions of slavery, you would become someone's slave because you simply borrowed a few dollars from them and then you had to earn it back. If you really look back into it, okay? So, but we're going to go further than that. We're going to go ahead from that. And, we talked about when the Spaniards and everyone started traveling and they needed workers. So they would go down the coast, and as they were looking for spices and things like that, they traded some things. And you had, on the coasts of Africa, you had different tribes at the time. These countries weren't defined yet. Okay, and so spices and jewels and things like that were traded for slaves, right? So our own people sold off each other and things of that nature, sold off maybe some of their less than fortunate people, or some people were just looking for futures, which is why kids and families would come as well, and they didn't know what they were in for, okay? So then they travel across and they start hitting up all the islands, sweeping back around the Dutch Antilles, Haiti, attached with Dominican Republic, Cuba, and all these islands, which is why we have, our dark-skinned fellows from Africa over there and have been able to maintain some of their African dialect, like the language of Creole, for example, which is mixed with some of the French and some of the African dialect, things like that. So traveling over into the U.S., and then you have these people in the U.S. that are stripped of their language because they're not allowed to communicate. They're not allowed to, the families are separated. The wives are on this plantation and, kids are gathered over here, and the husbands are separated and gathered over here, and then they're sold off, and things like that are happening, to go work. So you take that and you go all the way back and you're like, wait, so you're stripped of your culture, you're stripped of your heritage and your background. You have no idea where you come from because you not only don't know where you come from, but you don't know where you are, okay? And then you're being treated badly and you're forced to adopt a culture that has never been a part of you, right? And it has gone like this for years, right? Before slavery was initially abolished and things started to work forward in a very, very slow progress, which we all know those stories. I'm not touching into that right now. But I'm just kind of going back into the meat and potatoes of everything. So you take this culture, okay, and you strip them of everything, and you're like, you know what? What do we call these people? So you call them African, right? You call them colored because they're darker skinned than you, right? And I say you, meaning not you, the viewer. I know people are sensitive and would watch this and be like, well, Justin, are you racist? No, I'm not. I'm highlighting, a very sensitive topic, which is why I said if you're going to watch this, then don't be sensitive, learn something, because I'm only educating. Okay, so you look and you see, all right, what's happening here? You start to watch and you're like, wow, so no one knows where you're from, so they try to identify you the best they can, and they say, well, you're from this continent, okay, of Africa, because we have Egypt there, we have Morocco, we have, I mean, we could go, on, I don't even, forgive my geography, but there's quite a few countries there. But these people call themselves from their country in today's date, right? So what is titled as Black American here now has no clue, right? So we can't say that we're Irish. We can't say that we're English. We can't say that we are Polish. We can't say that we are German or that we are French, because that's not where we came from. And because we are darker skinned than our more lighter skinned Americans, then we're forced to just say black, right? Black American or African American, which unfortunately Africa is a continent, so that doesn't narrow anything down. Okay, that just means, well, you're from somewhere over there, buddy, so we're just going to check you off as this. How about just dark skin American? How about light skin American? In the Marines, it was, you're a dark green Marine, you're a light green Marine. Okay, who is it? Oh, it's Sergeant Harris, dark green Marine, or is it the light green Marine, Harris? Because we have a few Harrises. Oh, dark green Marine over with Bravo Company. Oh, okay, I got you. All right. So all I'm saying is light skin American, dark skin American. What does it matter? Okay. So I'm going to back up again because I went a little forward, and that's kind of how we should be looking to title now. If we're going to title, take the black word out. Like Black Lives Matter, huge topic right now, okay, right? I get it. It's exactly right that they're addressing what is a problem, and it's the elephant in the room everywhere, okay? Every time a dark-skinned American walks into a building, okay, a store, anywhere, okay, and they're not sure of themselves, very rarely. Okay, because of their skin color, because it's something that has been attached, because they have to call themselves black. You get it? So that's what happens. It's like the video of the professor she did years ago, and I don't remember her name. I apologize, because she deserves the credit for this video because it was profound. And she said, how many of you in here right now, raise your hand if you'd like to be treated like an African American? And no one raised their hand. The class was predominantly white. I should say the class was predominantly light-skinned American, okay? But the fact that no one raised their hand, she said, I'm sorry, maybe you misunderstood me, and she repeated herself, okay? And where I'm going with that is she was trying to pinpoint that there's clearly a problem, okay? And you have people that think they're better. Dark-skinned Americans were held back from even having education. Go figure it out on your own. You guys go get together and get to school. You can't come to this school because this is light-skinned Americans only kind of thing. You get it? So you see what was happening, right? So then every time that there was a chance and all they were seeking was justice, be recognized as equal, things like that. That's what happened, right? So worldwide, a lot of other countries have no clue what was happening here in the U.S. To a lot of these countries that were, banned of American media, they think a dark-skinned American is a rap artist or an athlete, and that's the only way, or it's an actor or something, entertainer, and depending on how they saw that dark-skinned American portrayed is what they think. So if you got golds in your mouth, you know what I mean? And you're a popular dude, not saying you're smart or stupid or any of that, but in another country on the other side of the planet, that's what they identify, right? So through no fault of our own, we had to create realms of income, okay, through entertainment, through nefarious activities, okay, because we had no other choice, okay? So you're forced to create some sort of income, revenue, education on your own, right? Where in other homes that in lighter skinned Americans, that wasn't the case, right? Education was free and abundant, okay? The ways of becoming successful was readily accessible, so it took, just a few dark-skinned Americans here or there that would, have the opportunity to become educated and try to put their foot out there, right? And we know of quite a few out there that are widely recognized, but I don't want to focus on that right now. So I go there because, I'm trying to address the fact that everything comes back to a title. Okay, if you're a doctor, then you will carry yourself that way. As a matter of fact, birds of a feather, you will keep yourself around other doctors. You will pass knowledge back and forth from each other. You will talk about things that are relevant to your craft, right? You'll brainstorm. You might even become a PhD in your field and study further and take it light years ahead because you want to, evolve, right? So you follow through with your title, right? You're proud of it, right? We try to make the title black a proud thing, but no matter how you see it, it still has the energy that is attached to it, right? So we have to get away from that, because at the end of the day, let's go back to my example, stupid. So I call you stupid every single day, right? And you and I have an argument. I'm like, the sky is purple, and you're like, no, the sky is blue. And the reason why it's blue is because of space and the reflection of the ocean, okay? And that's what's, and then we start getting scientific, okay? So there's a reason why the water's blue and et cetera, et cetera. And then we start, really going in on that, right? And your point is clear, it's evident. So I'm like, you know what, stupid, you're right. Good job, stupid. Take that title stupid off. Good job, black guy. You get it? So that's my point, is get rid of the title. The point is there, right? But as long as the title remains, then you carry a name that was marked on you, that was marked on me. I have a mixed background. My background is German and dark-skinned American. On the dark-skinned American side, it's diverse. On the German side, it's diverse. I just happen to have genetically dominated more on the darker skin complexion. Okay, and features, right? All right, here's what it is. Who cares? Dark-skinned American, served for this country, fought, right? Proudly. Why? Because you have to be proud of where you are and where you're at. Okay, you fight for where you are, right? You're here. Things are better here. Okay, I've been to other countries. It's a struggle. The struggle is real. Okay, what you can do here in the U.S., you can come from nothing and become a multi-millionaire. Okay, literally for some people overnight, right? In other countries, that's not the case. You're lucky if you have toilet paper. You're lucky if you can get water that's fresh. You know what I mean? So this is what I really, really wanted to get out. I'm most likely going to leave it here when I conclude this topic, because really nothing else needs to be said. Get rid of the labels. I had this conversation with my dad, and we get pretty deep. He's the one who really has forced me to be this kind of thinker, and always pushing myself. I'll never forget what he told me. He said, every day you want to be better than the day before, right? And I always apply that. I think of that whenever I'm in a slump, or whenever I feel like I need to motivate myself, or I need to look back and say, wait a minute, am I doing enough? How much more can I push myself? That's the thought that pops in my head. And the next thing I know, I'm ordering another book, jumping on Amazon. I need to read another book. What book do I want to order? What do I want to think about? I reach out to, contacts that have helped me get me to where I am today. Brainstorm like, hey, I'm really in a slump. And they help me think forward, right? So my point with all of this is words have energy. And we need to use the right words. You don't think it's real? It's like the saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is the biggest lie. Because you could be tough as nails, okay? But it's that one word, that profound thought that's highlighted in your mind. And next thing you know, you're shooting up a school. Right? Now, I bring that up because for a very long time, I mean hundreds of years, dark-skinned Americans have had to deal with the issues of racism. Okay? Right? Now, it's going back and forth as we go more into present day. Okay? Even back in the 80s, I mean, it's now at a point where, you know, it's being provoked and pushed on by the dark-skinned Americans against the light-skinned Americans. I mean, is that right? No. That makes neither side right. Now you become just as wrong as the other side. Okay, that's why I was talking about both sides of the battlefield. Okay, so that doesn't make it right. That also doesn't mean silently protest. That also doesn't mean burn down somebody's business. Okay, so on both sides, it's not right. Okay, what's right is when you want to see change, you infiltrate from within. You want to see change, go become a politician. Go become a police officer. Police your neighborhood the way you know it should be. Go and become the firefighter. Go and become the teacher. Take on the jobs and the careers where you know you have more influence in your community. That's how you make change, okay? How do you make change? The titles. How do the titles make change? All legal documents should not say white, should not say Caucasian. There is no... I'm sorry, you let me know where you could find that country, okay? And there's no black, right? There's light-skinned American, there's dark-skinned American. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're from Poland. It doesn't matter if you're from Japan. You are a light-skinned American or you're a dark-skinned American, okay? If you're born here, right? If you're not born here, then you're not from here. Then you are Japanese. Then you are Polish, etc., right? So the word's not negative. You think the word is not negative, then I tell you what, right? If the word doesn't have that kind of feeling, then you take that light-skinned American who shot up the schools. Okay, these were typically light-skinned Americans who were bullied. The words that you say that don't break your bones, right? The words. So it hurt them so much they started planning and plotting who they're going to take out. How many times have we heard this story? Let's really touch on it. Okay, so wait a minute. Does that make it okay? No, it doesn't. That's my point. So you take the dark-skinned American who has had to deal with this title so much that we try to adapt it and say black is beautiful, right? No, that's like saying shit is sweet. Shit is sweet. How is shit sweet? Why? Because you poured sugar on top of it? No, it's still shit, right? Black is beautiful. No, beautiful is beautiful, but don't put it on top of black just to make yourself feel better, right? We're beautiful because we're people. Does that make sense? That's my point. So these are the things that everyone needs to grasp. This isn't about one side or the other side. We're human beings, right? What do you do? What do you do with your life? You know what I mean? It's the right way of thinking, understanding that not one person is better than the other, right, is how we get past this. You change legal documents to light-skinned American, dark-skinned American. After that, who cares? Well, then you got height, weight, social security number, all right, work history, all these other great things, references, all right, we're talking about job applications, we're talking about social security, we're talking about federal documents. Who cares, right? Census reports is light-skinned American, dark-skinned American, or whatever country you're from, right or wrong? Who cares, right? So this is how you get on top of an issue and you break it down from the base, right? I'm not the smartest person in the world. There's a lot of things that I could probably have elaborated on or gone online and found references for you to go and make myself appear more valid. I don't need to do that. We all know everything that I'm saying. Some people are more ignorant than others would say, oh, you know, F that dude, man, he's this. Or F that dude, man, he's that. Why? Why? Because you don't want to sit down and think for a second and realize, wait a minute, this guy's got a point. He's got a valid point. That's my point. Why are we creating labels that we know it's not something we accepted? We didn't call ourselves that. You didn't call yourself that. Okay? That's the point. Hey, this is just a topic that I wanted to really cover, and I appreciate you guys. I told you that it was sensitive. All right. I could obviously get a lot deeper. I'm not going to, because I think that I covered something that was profound enough for you to stop and listen. This is a long video, and I apologize. I'm just sick of it, right? The way I look at it is I protect my friends and my family, and I look out for those. And, I educate as many people as I can. The more educated that I become, I pass it on. That's what we can do. Each one teach one, right? So there it is. I'm not an entertainer on here. I just like to drop facts as they come to me, whether they're relevant or not, and I push it back out there in the best way I can. Thank you, guys. I know I didn't say it on here. Definitely like and subscribe in the beginning. Like and subscribe in the end. This was a serious topic, and I really wanted to just kind of get it out there. All right. Whether or not it gets a lot of views is on you, right? Whether or not it trends is on you. But I know I covered some points and some things that, people maybe never really sat down and thought about. All right. Hey, thank you guys. Peace.